Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am going to try to do a quick little tutorial to show you how to add a slip pocket to this bag. I'm not gonna add it to the bag I've already made. I'm gonna go ahead and show you here out of the same fabrics. And after that, I'm just gonna walk through the steps of making the bag in a quicker fashion so that at least it's all together in one video. This is a tutorial to show you how to make the bag with a pocket. And along with the pocket, I decided I'm also going to show you how to add a little key fob strap that will sew into the bag. It's just a bonus, so if you're using this for shopping, you can put your cell phone in here, your glasses, your wallet, and then you can attach your keys to the lobster hook. This is just a 1/2 inch lobster hook, and the way you can tell it's a 1/2 inch is you measure them by the place where the fabric goes through. So that's 1/2 inch. Since it's a 1/2 inch, this is 2 inches wide. Folded up becomes 1/2 inch. So I'll walk you through how to make that in just a minute. So we're going to go ahead and add this pocket to the interior of our tote bag, and we'll get started with the pocket itself. To do that, the easiest way to do it is to take, you can use your lining fabric, you can use your exterior fabric, and you can use a different fabric. The choice is yours. Since this whole bag is canvas and this is canvas for the pocket, I'm not adding any interfacing to it. If it was a cotton, you might want to add an SF 101 to it to give it a little bit of structure, but you really don't have to. So this is canvas and I am not adding anything to it. This piece I have here is 11 inches wide, 16 inches tall, because we're gonna fold it in half. So this is close to the size of our pocket. We're gonna take it to the machine and we're gonna turn this wrong side out. I already pressed the center fold. I already had that pressed for myself, so it was all ready. So you're just gonna take it to the machine, wrong sides together, and we're gonna do a 1/2 inch seam allowance down both sides only. So we'll take it to the machine and then we'll come right back. Okay, so now we have our 1/2 inch seams down the sides of our pocket. I'm just going to trim the corners. We're going to turn it right side out. There we go, just hand press it. I'm gonna take it to my iron and press this flat. All right, I'm just poking out the corners a little bit more. So we're gonna take it to the machine again and do a top stitch across the top folded edge. I'm gonna do an 1/8 inch and then a 1/4 inch. Pocket is all ready to go. Oh, I'm sorry. Since the iron's still hot, I have the top stitch on. I'm going to take the bottom edge and just fold it in about 1/2 inch, just like our seam allowance everywhere else. And I'm just going to press this shut. All right, so the pocket is all ready. We're going to set it aside for now. So now onto the key fob strap. For this, I took a piece of fabric that was 2 inches wide by 13 inches long, so it will hang down in the bag a little bit. And then you fold it the long way, and then you fold the short sides in. Then I like to open up one short side and go ahead and press it in 1/4 inch. That's where this is gonna go, the side this is gonna go. The other side's gonna get sewn in, so you don't have to do anything with it. So after I fold it in half and fold it in half again and press it, I open it up and then I press in 1/4 inch on the end. And then I put it back to the way it was, like a long hot dog bun or taco, whichever you think is better. So I'm just gonna give it a couple clips. I will take this to the sewing machine and I will run a top stitch both on the long side that's open and then back down the long side that is not open. Okay, so take the side that we pressed in 1/4 inch, take your lobster claw, slide that through and bring it back. Ends up being about 1 inch. And we're just gonna put a little tiny square with an X in it to hold that on. Okay, a slight change of plan just to make it a little simpler. Let me trim off my thread and I can show you what I did. Instead of doing a box square, I just sewed 2 straight lines forward and back to reinforce that on. And our raw edges are all enclosed. So now this is all ready. I'm gonna go ahead and cut my squares out of my bag fabric. And like I said, since this is already a full tutorial somewhere else, I'm just gonna do the bag quickly so that it's all in one tutorial if you're interested. All right, so we're gonna take the lining, just one side of the lining. We're gonna find center. Let's go ahead and find center first. Finding center is like this. Just like to finger press a seam in there. Let's see if we can see it. Right there. So from the bottom, we're gonna measure 4 inches up. Okay, flip my ruler over. There's 4 inches up. I have the 13 on my center. And I'm gonna find center of my pocket. And I'm gonna place this 4 inches up from the bottom on center. So we're gonna take this to the machine and I'm gonna stitch a 1/4 inch seam allowance down the side, or top stitch, I'm sorry, not seam allowance, but a 1/4 inch down the sides and across the bottom to enclose this pocket. And then I'm gonna stitch up and down the middle, so I have 2 separate pockets. So we remove the pins. Our pocket is now attached, and we have 2 separate slip pockets. So you can either follow along in this video now on putting the bag together, or you can just use the tip of adding this pocket to the bag you currently are making. I'm going to go ahead and also attach this key fob attachment to the top level or the top seam of this bag. I like to put it right alongside the pocket just for a reference point. Okay, so now I'm going to go secure this on the machine with an 1/8 inch seam allowance. And there is the addition. This is what we've added: a pocket to the interior and a key fob clasp. So now I'm going to go ahead and assemble the bag. I'll set that aside. Our 2 handle straps are 4 inches by 17, folded in half, and then folded in half again, just like the other bag. I'm going to take these to the machine, and I'm going to do a top stitch down the open side and back up the not open side. Okay, the handles have been made. We're going to start with the exterior. We're going to go ahead and attach the handles. So let's find center of our front exterior fabric. And from center, I'm going to mark off 2.5 inches each direction. And I will put my handle with 5 inches in the center, 5 inches between the two. So I put it on the outside of the marks that I just made. So I'll take the other one, make center. So now we have the bag right side out, the outside of the bag, that is, the external fabric. And I did the top stitch down the sides, across the bottom, up the other side, just like before. So we'll set this aside and put together the lining that has our key fob. I'll just tuck that into the pocket we added. So just like the other one, we're going to stitch 1/2 inch seam allowance across the bottom. And then we're going to stitch up the sides, and we'll stitch the corners shut. We'll leave ourselves a turning hole on the side right here. Actually, I don't want to put those on yet. I have to sew the bottom. So we're going to stitch 1/2 inch seam allowance across the bottom, open it up, press it open, and then do an 1/8 inch top stitch down each side of the seam. Okay, so we have the lining all sewn together. I'm going to press open the side seams so it'll lay flat when I put it together. Okay, it's all pressed open. I'm going to go back to the machine and close up these bottom corners. All right, so here is the inside of our interior fabric, and here is the exterior right side out. We're going to drop this. Now, for me having a tag, to me, I always want my tag on the left. And I want my pocket of my interior to the back. So to me, this is the front of my bag. So I'm gonna set my exterior bag inside my interior bag, right sides together. Give it a little shake, and then match up your side seams first. I'm just going to lay it down so I can pin together where my handles are. And then I'll add more pins in between to keep the fabric together while I stitch this shut. I'm going to take this back to the machine, and I'm going to stitch a 1/2 inch seam allowance across the complete top, and then I will come back over here and we will reveal the interior. All right, the two parts of our bag are sewn together. So we're gonna find the hole on the lining right here, and we're gonna slowly pull through the exterior fabric of the bag. Just take your time, and right now I'm pushing it through instead of pulling it. And it is completely through. Let's check it out. So this is the same bag we just sewed the other day on the last tutorial, except this one has an interior lining pocket and a key fob ring. So I'm gonna stick this in again out of my way. I'm gonna go ahead and run over to the machine quick and stitch this opening up before I put it back together. It is complete. I'm gonna trim off some strings here. Now this time I did a little larger of a top stitch. I did the second top stitch down 1/2 inch, and I kind of like that better. So I don't know if you can see that very good in the camera, but I have 2 top stitches. You can see it on the inside better. So here is our tote bag with pockets Now you can do that on both sides of the interior if you want. And we have this handy dandy key fob ring. So you can hook your keys on it, and then when you go to find them, when you're at the store, you have this on your arm, you just grab this little lanyard and pull it out, and your keys will be attached. So how cool is that? It's the same bag with pockets. 7-inch deep, 11.5 inches wide, and it stands 12 inches tall. This one is all canvas, canvas interior, canvas exterior, with one layer of fusible interfacing. I used the 931 TD on the inside of this one as well. And I just put that on the back of the lining. So here's our bag. What do you guys think? There's the one with pockets. Here's the one without pockets. And here's the one that's canvas and cotton on the inside. This is a tutorial we made earlier. This one has no pockets, very simple, easy to follow. You can make this yourself with beginner skills, and it'll give you some confidence to move on to making more complicated items. So again, here's the other bag with no pockets, and here's the bag we just made. Same tutorial, but with the pockets and the key fob lanyard. All right, you guys, that is it for me right now, and I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think below in the comments. Let me know if you make one. I would love to see them. All right, have a great day.